Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Welcome back into some more bite-sized business advice. In today's episode, we got a business owner and entrepreneur in an industry that you probably haven't thought about a whole lot, but I can promise you, you are familiar with what it is. We'll dive more into that story, but we're going to hear his journey, the journey of building a franchise, and all about his franchisees and what they're doing to build their businesses and make an impact in their communities too. So really fun conversation today. David Sowers, welcome to the show and thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate you having me on.
I also forgot to mention that if you're listening to this episode and not watching it, this one I'm going to require that you go over to YouTube and watch it. At least watch a little bit of it. David has been crowned the coolest background ever for a guest on this show. He's got a giant purple chair and two large knights watching over him. So please just go to YouTube. But David, fantastic background. You also have a very unique business, Royal Restrooms. Tell me about how you got started in, is it okay to say the porta-potty business? But it's much more than that. But how did you get your start?
Brandon, everything is, in any small business, anything, it's all about branding. It's all about being recognized. It's all about, kind of being that crown jewel. And here at Royal Restrooms, that's, we want to make things memorable. We want the experience. We want, hey, we can poke fun at ourselves. We can get out of the box and get out of the grind and take care of business. But our business comes, more natural, out of necessity, out of seeing something that was needed that others just kind of overlooked. We were 20 years ago, the porta potty was just accepted. It was not talked about. Nobody wanted to mention it. Nobody even wanted to say anything. Nobody even wanted to go to the bathroom in a porta potty, especially at any outdoor event or social function. It was just kind of that taboo of, we're just not going to talk about it. And it happened to me with my little girls when they were potty trained. I took them to a porta potty and it was a horrible experience. It was eye-opening and it was traumatizing. I'm watching my little girls, they're learning Stella's learning how to potty train, and she's literally turned over and just looked in and was like, what is this? Like, Dad, there's poop. And, you just kind of panic, like, oh my gosh, you just touched a porta potty, and you're looking around, there's nothing there. Luckily, we have wipes and all that stuff and carrying kids around. But the experience just prompted a change. Like, after that night, the bad part of it is I ended up holding her over the porta potty, and then she ended up just peeing on me, and it just progressively got worse. But out of those experiences, you evolve. You think, how can this be done differently? How can things change? And people thought that we were crazy when we came up with Royal Restrooms. And when Robert and I first pitched this in Savannah, they were just like, what is going through your minds? Like, why would you do this? Why, you're in small town Savannah, but in the corporate business world, and, you wear a suit every day. Why are you going to go to a porta potty? Robert and I, we ran with it. It made sense to us. It was certainly a different industry to jump into, but it was something that we thought that we could handle and we thought that people needed. And, as it turns out, 20 years later, restroom trailers are pretty much the standard at just about any event that you go to. It may not be a royal restroom, but it's similar to what we have. Everybody wants to go, or everybody is requiring to go to a real restroom. They don't want a porta potty anymore. They want an elevated experience. They want an anxiety-free dump, if you want to say.
Is that your tagline?
No, it just kind of came out. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Well, you can coin that one and put it on the side of your trailers. That's a good one. But it's so true. You can picture that scene. I have two daughters who are potty training as we speak, and I can so picture that, and also picture myself avoiding that situation with whatever possible, with whatever way possible. I'd be like, you know what, diapers are cool today. Let's go backwards for just today.
Right. I mean, when you sit and think about it, at any event that you go to or any kind of social function that's outside, at some point you have to go to the bathroom. And how many times have people said, have you been to the bathroom? Have you seen the bathroom? What is it like? Where is it? Or how many times have you left an event to go to the bathroom? Everybody plans so hard to get you there, for you just to leave to go to the bathroom. And it happens. But, as you said, you're potty training your kids right now. You can see the similar experience that I dealt with, and you can kind of, you can visualize it. You can feel it.
Yeah, I love that you created a whole business model out of this, a franchise out of it too. So what was the journey from having the idea, from that awful experience with your daughter to building a franchise out of this? I mean, it's also one of those things where I'm sure if the local market and people you knew were pushing back and calling you crazy, the potential investors into your franchise would also say the same thing. So what did that look like in the early days of building a franchise?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. I think most people start a business to be successful and make something bigger than it is. They have these grand ideas. When Robert and I first started Royal Restrooms, we didn't have any expectations. We were just building something and testing it, and it was a side hustle. It was something small. It was just to generate a little revenue on the side, a little tax write-off here and there, but to enrich our lives a little bit better. Franchising, that never entered our minds. It was almost forced upon us. People loved our product. People reached out to us. They wanted to duplicate what we were doing. And our first franchise owner, Andy Christian, he's out of Gainesville, Florida. He had come up to a wedding in Richmond Hill, Georgia, and he and his wife, Linda, were just like, wow, this is amazing. This is incredible. And they had a place down in the Keys. They were in Gainesville. They traveled a lot. They were like, Florida has nothing like this. And they were, I think he worked for he sold cell phone towers, or scouted land for cell phone towers back in the day. And she was a real estate realtor. And they looked at this business and they were like, we can do this. This is doable. We're already on the road. We see the need for this. And, here they are. They're close to, I think, 18 years now. They've been doing this down there in Gainesville. They've got 150, 200 trailers. Very successful business in Florida now. And we're fortunate that we have solid business owners that thought like us and saw the need.
That's incredible. I mean, I did not expect you to say that number either. It's not like you just have a couple of trailers going around. That's a big undertaking. That's a massive business.
Oh yes. It's a lot bigger than what you think of. A lot of people in our business, they start out with a couple trailers. They do this, like I said, is kind of a side hustle. It's the same as somebody that thinks that they're, in real estate and they own one or two rental houses. They're not really landlords. They just own one or two. They don't really know the true business of it. But they're trying and they're learning. And a lot of people start into our business in the portable restroom industry, and it's, it's easy to get into, but it's hard to maintain it and it's hard to grow. You have to change your ways. You have to, think outside the box from just events to commercial long-term remodels to even disaster relief, like we're going through here with Tropical Storm Debbie. I mean, we've got trailers out from Florida to Georgia and already on standby for the Carolinas.
Yeah, that's interesting. But when you started, when they first signed on with you, did you even think it was going to be that big of a business, or did you have that many trailers at that point for yourself?
No, no. It was still relatively small, and we just, at that point, it was kind of like, oh, this could be big. This could be bigger than what we ever thought it was. But at no point did we ever think that it would be on the scale that it is today. Even here in Savannah, I mean, we've got well over 100 trailers in a market that's Savannah that has a population of 150,000. Even though our demographics is closer to 500,000, but we've got over 100 restroom and shower trailers. That is a lot of trailers. I mean, we've got 15 to 20 employees now. That's a lot of moving parts, and it certainly takes up a lot of time. And if we didn't have dedicated employees like Kim McCarty and Jeff Merns and those people, we wouldn't survive. Robert Glisson and I would not be here without people that have put so much into our business for us.
Yeah, it's so cool to have that, to hear that you have such a good team behind you. I'm also interested to hear about your franchisees. You have a number of them now. I think you said 30 before we started recording. What's their journey been like? Because yeah, we heard the success story of the first one, which is awesome. But again, it's a unique business. It's an industry people probably wouldn't think of if they want to venture into franchising. So what's come of it from all the people who have invested with you?
We're an untapped market, really, and our growth or in the industry has been exponential the last few years, especially with COVID. Each and every one of our owners are, they all have different backgrounds. None of them have come from our industry. A lot of them have come from, more professional backgrounds, and they've gotten into, they've recognized that they want to be an entrepreneur. They've recognized they want to be a self-starter. And, this business has given them that kind of that lifestyle. And we're looking for people that are community oriented, who want to leave a legacy, who are, they want to change something. They want to make our business their business. So a lot of our owners from the West Coast to the Midwest, they've all taken different paths. They've all grown the business a little bit differently. We show out a blueprint, and this is what we have seen to make people successful. But we still want you to be your own individual owner. We want you to build the brand the way that works best for you, because the way that it works in Savannah, Georgia is not the way it's going to work in San Francisco, California, or Park City, Utah, or Phoenix, Arizona, or Seattle, Washington. All of those places have different markets. They have different regulations. They have different needs. And so each individual owner has taken that upon themselves to really build that business and that brand in that area.
That's really cool. And where do you want to take the brand next? Like what's the next 5 years? You just celebrated 20. It's a huge milestone. I don't know, based on your background, if you can outdo your 20-year celebration at 25. I'm sure you'll find a way to do it. But where do you want to take Royal Restrooms in the next 5 years?
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, Brandon, we've grown kind of organically. We've never pushed a whole lot to try to sell the brand Royal Restrooms. We've never really truly marketed it to a franchise. We've never put any money into it. Our growth has all come from, you know, people that want to be a part of our business, and we've been pretty picky about who we choose, because we want everybody to fit together, work together, and be a part of our family. You know, being involved and learning everybody's ideas and their values is, and correlating with what Robert and I've put into Royal Restrooms, is very important to us. But now, you know, like you said, in the next 5 years, I would really like to push this business and see what we can do. I think we're poised to make a run and grow some markets, especially in the Northeast. You know, we don't have many offices up there, and then in the northern Midwest. You know, we need some office owners. We need some like-minded individuals to help us grow.
Yeah, I hear you about the growth and pushing, and I can definitely respect that. So let me ask you a better question then. What do you want for your franchisees in the next 5 years? What do you want to help them achieve?
You know, the main thing is I want them to continue to go along the path that they're going. I like the fact that they're able to do things with their families. I like that they are self-sufficient. I want to continue to help them market and grow the business in different directions. Royal Restrooms has been a restroom, an executive portable restroom company for the last 20 years. We also have done shower trailers for various events. But I think that we're prime right now to where we can open up our market to beverage trailers, office trailers, even refrigeration trailers. All of these are in the event services industry. All of these things are needed in commercial remodels. And I think that we can continue to grow our brand by diversifying. We're really not changing our footprint from an employee standard or even an operation standard. We're still pulling these things behind trucks. The same people can do it. There's nothing that's any more specialized than what we're already doing. It's more of, you know what, we're just adding on and creating a better experience for our clients.
I think that's a fantastic outlook and a really cool vision to have for someone who's listening to this, and maybe they've considered that route of franchising or even just exponential growth beyond one location. What's one of the more important things you've learned over the last 20 years that you would love for someone else to know before they got started with it?
Well, I think that a lot of people that are in small businesses that have been in business for a long time, they tend to get comfortable. They tend to not want to change. You know, business is ever evolving. It is, you have to continue to innovate. You have to continue to challenge, and you have to accept that, you know, things around you are changing as well. And you have to go with you have to kind of move with that momentum. And from an individual standpoint, back when we started this, we didn't have any fear. It was give it 100%. We weren't afraid of anything being taken from us because we were putting it all out there in the open. 20 years in, yes, we're a little more reserved. We're more cautious. And I think it's an even harder step now to take that initiative, to put yourself back out there and try new things and experiment, you know, because that's what it takes to get to the next level. You have to get back out of your comfort zone to take the next step. And so many people get stuck in that, and they struggle, and they're just like, you know, this is how we've always done it. This is what's always worked. And there is something to say for, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Or, you know, this is how we've always done things. But if you want to grow and you want to stay on top of the market, you have to make the change. You have to jump back out of your comfort zone and, you know, make yourself a little vulnerable. You know, if you fail, you didn't fail. You just learned something new. You tackle it from a different perspective, come at it from a different angle. If it is a good idea and people think it is, and you can see the vision and you can see the end result, then keep after it. Go after it.
That's great advice. I love it. David, thank you so much for being here. This was an awesome conversation. Really cool to see your journey. Where can the listeners go to learn more about you and what you got going on with Royal Restrooms?
Yeah. As always, you can check us out on the web at royalrestrooms.com. You can find us on LinkedIn and various social media outlets on Instagram, TikTok. It's Royal Restrooms. And take a look at one of our local offices. We're all across the country. We're in over 20 states. Our newest office just opened up in Marietta, Ohio, serving that lower or north or whatever, Pennsylvania, a little bit of West Virginia and Ohio. So anyways, shout out to Brian Waller on that.
That's fantastic. David, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you, Brandon.
For those of you watching, listening, wherever you are, again, the instructions were clear. If you're listening, please go watch just for 30 seconds. You got to see the background. David's a cool dude and he's got an amazing background, but all the links, everything he described, everything he talked about is down in the show notes below, wherever you are. And make sure you subscribe. We want to have you back on this daily podcast that helps you hopefully grow your business and build a more harmonious business and life. We'll see you on tomorrow's episode of Harmonious.